Well, thanks very much for coming on the show. And can you just give us a sort of 10-second introduction of who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Grange, and I've been in social media for about a decade now, since the Clue Train Manifesto pretty much emerged. I was in the UK at the time and helped develop the Internet Extranet for Universal Pictures International around the turn of the century. Sounds like a long time ago, but that had a lot to do with social media, forums, and at that stage we had bulletin boards. And we were streaming rich media across Europe to different intranet sites to have them download that onto those partner portals. So I've been involved in social media for quite a while now. Most recently moved to Australia and partnered with a few American companies on providing software as a service offerings. And because I was actually situated in a regional area, for 18 months, I sold those solutions purely using social media. I never actually got to meet my clients. So I used social media to do that. So I knew the boundaries as to what we could accomplish with social media, and I knew that there was a space for FaceTime as well, which I still think is critical.
And that kind of nicely leads into what you've been working on, which is an ebook and a research project, is that right, on emotional intelligence and social media?
Absolutely, Simon. I mean, with regards to having all these conversations with my prospects and clients, I realized that there was a massive aspect of social science behind social media. So when a year ago I moved to Melbourne and had all these fantastic educational institutions at my fingertips, so to speak, I went and met with the Swinburne Brain Sciences Institute and said to them, look, how about working with me to find out the in-depth aspects of microblogging and bringing social media and the skills in emotional intelligence together for the first time. I hadn't seen it done anywhere else. There are skills in emotional intelligence, and these particular skills, there's 7 of them that have been identified by the Brain Sciences Institute together with the only accredited emotional intelligence course in Australia, which is run by Genos. And those pretty much are the emotional self-awareness, emotional expression, emotional awareness of others, emotional reasoning, emotional self-management, emotional management of others, and emotional self-control. And just to give you a little bit, and just to pick on, let's say, one of those, emotional self-awareness, that's the skill of perceiving and understanding one's own emotions. And it was interesting to me because I realized that when you were on social media channels and let's say you posted a blog and somebody responded to that, there was a little feeling of opening up a Christmas present in the morning. I mean, it really was. It was a little bit of that. And I thought, nobody's really encapsulated, nobody's put that emotion into words before. So what we did with the Brain Sciences Institute is we developed this survey, which is still open. We developed the survey using an open innovation perspective. We opened up a wiki to all large companies and individuals to put their social media slant on where this survey should really go. And that was open for 2 months. So people were in there. We had Coles, we had Microsoft, we had large institutions like those going in there and saying, hang on a second, we need to understand this part of social media, and we need to understand it in relation to emotional intelligence in this way. So the survey got put together over a long period of time and with a lot of pulling backwards and forwards, and that was really good because it was a nice collaborative effort with this open innovation project. And that went live on the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes Day. I thought that was a good day to have it go live on, a massive explosion out there, hopefully not blowing up anything important like the Houses of Parliament. But things started to roll from there. We started to get some traction with people taking part and doing the survey. And that's still underway, and we expect that to go until roughly the end of the first or second week in March. We also released an ebook at the beginning of this year, which, well, I gave it a particular name, which was The Emotional Face of Twitter. But then my editor said, that doesn't sound very business-like, and you're not going to sell that to business people if it just sounds like that. So we called it developing an online social media culture, which is also really a good name for it.
Yeah, there's some good buzzwords right there.
There aren't there? I mean, it's pretty serious stuff because, I mean, so much of what we're doing with introducing social media to companies is trying to ascertain whether their culture will actually adopt it or not.
Great stuff. And I mean, even the word culture, even the word civilization might be in that place. It's that massive a shift, isn't it?
It is.
The way that we communicate.
No, I think so. I think when you say that civilization is it's a good way to phrase it, because I think, let's face it, I mean, Twitter is extremely powerful. It's bringing more people together than any other technology in the history of communication. So with regards to civilization, it's changing the way we engage.
Awesome stuff. So what's been the feedback to the ebook so far?
That it's not American focused enough.
Yeah.
I've together with Celia Prosso, who helped me put it together, I thought this is a chance for us to try and focus on our corner of the world with regards to what we need to know about social media in New Zealand, Australia, and across the Asia Pacific region. Rather than using a whole lot of examples that America have, I've tried to get some statistics that are more focused on our region and making it apply here. I know I'm not going to become an overnight millionaire as a result, obviously, but I see that we, in this part of the world, need to try and stay ahead of the game. And the only way to do that is to try and learn from others that are close to us.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. And I guess I should have asked this right at the beginning. What actually sparked your interest in the connection between emotional intelligence and social media?
It was the whole side of engagement and social science. I realized that some people who were using particular channels of social media, let's say Twitter, for example, were extremely effective, and others just weren't. And those that weren't, I was also seeing, though, that maybe they were really effective in another channel of social media. So certain social media channels seem to lend themselves to certain aspects of individuals and their characteristics and behavior. And I thought, hang on a second, we're onto something here. We need to get to the bottom of this. And so that's why when I met up with Celia Prosso, who has a more in-depth knowledge of emotional intelligence, having studied with Genos, I had a conversation with her, and she said, hang on a second, what you're saying actually resonates with these different skills of emotional intelligence. Now, what I loved about emotional intelligence was that, unlike Myers-Briggs and some of the other profiling tools, is it doesn't put you into a box. What emotional intelligence does, and the skills of emotional intelligence, is what they do is that they let you know what parts of your emotional psyche you can actually improve on to help you to fit into a certain way of communicating. And that certain way of communicating would then help you to engage in other channels of social media. So that's where I was trying to go with this. I was trying to say, okay, fair enough, you're a wonderful communicator and effective in email, but if you started to think of your life and started to learn these skills in emotional intelligence, you could actually start to apply that in microblogging and micro-sharing.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Luke.
Take care.
Cool.
Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain? Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain?